screenshots also.
Yeah, we are live.
Okay, a very good evening to one and all present here. So as you all know, I'm Dr. Usha, and we are representing this program on behalf of Brain Rhyme. And today's topic is going to be neuro leadership. Even before that, I'd like to speak to you on a few of my achievements and what I do basically. So currently, I run a company called Aura Training and Consulting, which is into leadership and behavioral training. And prior to that, I have been into teaching for 9+ years in a management institute. So this training institute I have started after my PhD, which was on leadership. So my prime area is corporates, but I've also extended to students. So we have given lots of training to students and corporates, which is majorly into leadership and other behavioral skills also. And to my credit, I'm a multi-awardee, and recently I have got Women Achievers Award and Best Entrepreneurial Award for year 2021. So which makes me say that, I should do more, much and more better in my coming days. So to start with the session, if we have to go by the definition of neuro leadership, that would take us to somewhere else. So if I have to take this topic, say in a very simple manner, then it's not coming. Let me press it over here. Yeah. My first question to the audience is it my brain, your brain, or our brain? I would like the audience to answer this question by thinking for a second. Is it my brain or your brain or our brain? Yes, Shobhiji. On an instant of 1 second, I want this answer.
I was also going to say our brain only.
Okay, yeah. Our brain. Okay, which means you say that all our brains are same. Okay, and somebody else, I would like to hear a lady's voice when we talk about brain.
It's my brain.
Oh, it's my brain. See, a woman says it's my brain. So I would say that it's my brain only, and it's your brain. And why it is our brain is when you see the factors, when you ponder upon the factors of brain, it says that brain are all same. Might be some smaller changes in the size of the brain is different, but whatever the connections are there, they're all going to be the same. But how do we use it is going to be as different as possible, and how we are going to use this in practical experiences is going to be different. We all know Albert Einstein, right? So what are the thoughts which comes instantly when I say Albert Einstein? BB, can you just post your comments over here, or you can just unmute yourself and tell me Albert Einstein. Yes, BB. Or any of the other person. Okay, we all know what he has achieved. But the fact here with the neuro leadership is when he died, they preserved his brain. And what they did is they wanted to study what this brain consisted of. And they found nothing. They said that it is like any other normal brain he has, and his brain is also the same. But after 45 years, in 1995 or so, I don't remember the year exactly, what they said is his brain had the pyramidal lobe of the brain was bigger in size, which says that his visual and spatial intelligence was high. Whatever he recorded was all on pictures. Why I'm commenting here is his brain acted in such a manner, and my brain would act in a different manner. Right? So the neural schema, if we have to study what the neural schema of our brain is, it has got neural networks, which has got great potential in solving the problems. On an average, we have 86 million neurons and over 100 trillion connections in that, which is more than the largest existing neural networks, which is fewer connections when compared to this. And the cerebrum, which is 900 region names, which has got after a cross section of the hemisphere. We all know that we have the right and the left hemisphere, right? So the functional areas, the anatomical names, layers, and there are 5 suspected microzones also. So this is how our brain works. Then coming to leadership, because I have split my topic as neuro and leadership. So we took neuro as a concept, and now what is leadership? So some thoughts on leadership, like one by one, if I have to coin a term which is parallel to leadership, what would that be? Rahmat, can you just say what is leadership to you? Or anybody else? if the term comes into your mind, leadership, and Colonel has been in the topmost leadership cadre in Army, and Colonel, tell me, what is leadership to you?
Leadership to me is to try and steer the team to those thoughts where perhaps they have not seen to, and if possible, lead by example also.
Great. Sushant, sir.
Leadership for me is to lead a ship so that it can go in the right direction and take the whole journey with the whole ship and people along with the ship in the right direction.
Okay, so then you say that you'll be responsible for taking all the responsibilities of your team?
You just the word
or you will delegate?
No, the lead doesn't mean a responsibility. It means that leading certain things. So lead by example, as rightly mentioned by Shobhit, lead by example. So once an example is put forward, maybe others can also work on that and take it forward.
Okay. Anybody else has got any other different definition for leadership? Just a second, it gets stuck. So when we talk about leadership, there are many concepts, and it might take days and days and days to explore and ponder upon leadership. But for today's case, I'm going to just take two aspects of leadership, which is traditional leadership and neuro-based leadership. So what is traditional based leadership is, they say that what comes into your mind when you see this picture? What comes into your mind when you see this picture, and which can you coin as traditional leadership and which can you coin as the present leadership style or the neuro-based leadership style on this? Figure 1 and figure 2. Yes, what does figure 1 represents? And what does figure 2 represents? The figure 2 represents the traditional leadership style, which was a bossy type of a leadership style, and they just gave the rules and regulations and they were following it. But in the present leadership style, the leader also emerges among the team. And as he rightly said, the Colonel Ji, he said that I want a team. I want to work with the team and I want to gear up the team and maneuver the team to the success. So that's how the leadership has changed over the period of time. And currently in 2006 only, this neuro leadership concept has been researched. So what they say is, if you are able to understand the neural aspects of a person, then it would be much better. Wouldn't be much better, people? Whomsoever who is hearing, can you just agree with the point that if you understand the underlying cause of why the person behaves? So the field of neuro leadership explores the neural basis of leadership and management practices. So what are the management practices? You have large many management practices, and leadership is one among them. And when you congregate both the neural and that of the leadership, gathers finding from a range of different sources such as cognitive, affective, and behavioral component, and integrate both the neuroscience and that of the neurobiology in it. So what is the cognitive, affective, and the behavioral component of a person? If you say cognitive person, what he thinks, what he behaves, and what he thinks, like we could say that, I like babies. So it is a common, the note for everybody. And if you take it on an affective component, how do we emotionally attach to the component is the affective component. You say that I like girl babies and I'm attached to my own kid, and there are certain sections of emotions which we attach to that. And what is the behavioral component is how do we behave in that. So these are all the neural studies which has been created. So after seeing this picture, what do you get? What is this picture is all about? If you have to relate it to brain, if there is a person and all this is running in his mind, all this is running in his mind, and you need to tell me what this picture totally tells you about.
So thought, connecting neurons.
Okay.
I
there are so many.
There are many things.
Multiple ideas.
Multiple ideas. You have a what is that settings thing, power, something like that. Okay, so all these are there. And so what? Something more from the.
I was thinking it's a left brain and right brain, and there is a replay button of some thoughts.
Okay, left brain and right brain.
Okay. And also there is social connect when there's a shaking of hands.
Okay.
There are ideas when there is bulb going on. And there's a section of brain which is counting on time. There's a time element there. And there's
yeah.
Some of those, yeah.
Okay. Can you hear this? Can you hear some music?
Yeah, music is there.
Yes.
Okay. What has come, Vaiti? Since you know the language, I just want some hip hop. Vaiti,
Yeah.
Rahmat, those who ever know Tamil, yeah. Yes, Shobiji, I just want your hands to swing. Yes. I want your hands to swing. Sushant sir. And all of you there. Okay. Yeah, great. Sushant sir, and anybody else, what was happening now? You heard a music.
Yeah.
Vaiti, what was running in your mind?
I was trying to decipher the lyrics and just basically enjoy the rhythm.
I will take the word lyrics. I would take the word music from Sushant sir. Shobit sir, you just had some, shaking your body. So it is different. Yeah.
I was trying to rhythm with it and try and understand this. What are you trying to infer? Right?
Anybody else in the steam? Oh, so anybody else can share what was their thought when you suddenly took in music in between a presentation?
There was a good rhythm.
Oh, yeah, Kalpana ji.
And it slightly shifted our perception to the rhythm.
Yes, you got shifted, but somebody got connected. So it's between the right and the left. I get connected. I can go with the music and I can do that. So we have a lot of connects and all the neurons are connected. They call it as connectum. And all these are being connected and it is on the different range with people. So that is what. Now, choose a leader in your mind. I want you all to choose a leader in your mind and get back to me in a minute. So what comes into your mind when you say leader and who is a leader for you? Okay, that is what is the question. Who is the leader whom you have chosen and why you have chosen, on what basis you have chosen? Anybody with the answer right away?
Okay, for me, Dr. Abdul Kalam.
Okay.
The way he presents himself, the way he takes all his colleagues and associates with him.
Okay.
And the way he puts the gratitude which he has, that is what I see in a leader.
Okay. Vaiti?
So the first person that came to my mind was Sri Ratan Tata.
Okay.
And again, the way he embraces his team and his various organizations and moves forward along with them. I think that's something that really impresses me about him.
Impresses you. Kalpana ji?
For me, it is Sudha Murthy. I really love the way she works.
Admire her. Okay.
Totally admire her because once in a month she goes to a temple and takes care of the slippers. She goes to the Raghavendra temple and she sits outside the temple and she does the seva. She takes all the slippers and puts them on the rack. And then when they come back, she gives it back to them. And any kind of seva for her stature. And she's the most humble person on the earth I have ever seen. And the way she reaches out to people through her foundation, I mean, everything I admire her to the core.
Okay. Anybody else would like to add their leader, the role model or the iconic person whom they say that, yes, I consider him as a leader? Is anybody? Any other person? Okay. So you have chosen.
Sorry. Yeah, for me, it's Barack Obama.
Okay, Barack Obama. Great. Okay. So that's how we go about choosing a leader, right? So what did you do is a prime example of a leadership you did. And everybody, we all decided on how they took the decisions and what are the traits of risk. How did they work upon the recession? And the interesting factor during recession of 2008 was taking the most unwanted risks was the recession's reason and neuroscientific study. So that's what is linking us today. So next is this neuro pathways, what actually making. So why do we have to study this neurosciences of a person is to understand his pathway, how he takes the decisions. So as a leader, he has to take many decisions. And what all decisions, it's not an easy task. It's going to be but fascinating. And trust is the most important element in leader and a follower. And what research says, every fifth person only has trust in business leaders. So to maintain this trust between the the dyadic formation is very, very difficult. Then the leader has to take social issues, environmental issues, complex decisions, better to do more. So that's how. And to do more, do you all agree that we all work towards like doing more and more and more? We don't rest. We just want more and more and more. So that's the concept of, and if this is the point, and how does your neuron then will work, and how does it will connect? So the leaders have an impact, and notoriously business friendly leadership programs. What does it say? The notoriously leadership program is MBA. What I'm talking about is MBAs. MBAs are most closely related to us being managers and leaders, and they have a relationship with the people. So in this study, there was a study which was done in MBA students, and they were connected with the encephalogram, and what they resulted is, what is the moral issues which they follow, and what are the risk-taking, de-risking factors which were there. So this was the study which was done for MBA graduates. Then so the traits of a leader on which you all have took is empathy. They are change makers, they are inspirational, they are visionary. So these were the common factors which came up to like what the leaders whom we suggest as leaders for us. So from a neuro leadership perspective, we learned that the brain's organizing principle is to minimize threat and maximize reward. And so we non-consciously behave in ways to avoid threat, and being as, we seek pleasure and we want to avoid that threat. The flight or the flight situation also comes in over here. Do you all agree? Do you all agree with the factor that we want to do more, and we ponder upon reward, being in fear and frightening, and we work on towards success? Do we do that? And write in the chat box that I agree. And you can write in the chat box as you agree for that. So how does neuroscience leadership is going to help us in the study is going to be like organizational research and neuro research is going to be combined. And the pathways and patterns of the person who is as a leader and who is as a follower is going to be studied. What do they do? How do they do? And how behavior is followed and admired. Do you all agree that is it possible for us to check in all these factors? Because mingling neuro schema, the person, leadership, organizational factors, and his factors, is it possible? Yes, it is possible. It grew out of a need to understand more about how we could be better leaders, to more effective at leading others, and ourselves by engaged with our brain tells us about being human. So what we are trying to be as a human, we are trying to bring out the factors. So what are all the factors which neuroscience study can bring in, or the neuro leadership study can bring in, is the decision making and the problem solving factors, emotional regulations, like in a team or in as a person, also collaborating with an influence, because without a follower the leader has no job. So with what are the following factors also we need to see, and facilitating the change. There is a small case. Just get into the case and get back to me as to what this case talks about. Two senior managers who are leading their teams through change within the same organization. The way they were experiencing the change process was very different for each of the leader. The first feared for his position in the organization and experienced high levels of stress due to the uncertainty and lack of autonomy over the outcomes, and was struggling to keep his team engaged through the process. The second focused more on the relationship he had with his team and ensured they were kept informed of any news as it happened. So reducing uncertainty, keeping them connected to the bigger picture, involve them in decision making. So how did both of them handle the case? Were they different or were they same?
They were totally different, and the outcomes are also going to be very different here.
Very different. Okay.
Yes.
Any other insights on this case?
The second person had an inclusive way of thinking.
Okay.
He included everybody, his team, in decision making.
Okay.
So that is one virtue. Inclusiveness is a virtue for me.
So why no comments on the first person? I wonder why no comments on the first person.
Because he himself was fearing, right? You call him a leader, he himself had a fear. When you call somebody a leader and when there is fear, I don't call any person who's leading, who has a fear as a leader. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm not,
No, that is your neural schema is talking now. No other thing is talking. So that's what we will have now 16 people are there, and we'll have 16 different inferences from this, right? So that's what I am trying to put in here is, how did they do this? Wired differently, but still awesome. Do you all agree that I am wired differently? And there was a picture like Hanumanji took the shirt off and showed Rama was inside, right? So now you all have to pull it and say, I am wired differently, still awesome. Isn't it? Isn't it? Both were doing their leadership job, but in a different way. So that's what is going to be this neural thing. What is this? Can somebody tell me what is on the screen?
Different kind of stoles and scarves.
Great. Anything else which somebody can get in with this?
Yeah, sorry, there is something that is masking your face as well.
Okay.
Different personality traits.
Okay. Great.
Different with different styles.
Different styles. Okay, that's a lady, right? She's going out of the style, and somebody is going out of the color. And Kalpana ji said these are only basically scarves.
It's
right?
basically different objects that look very different physically, but practically
Purpose is the same.
Purpose.
Purpose is the same. Yes, it's nothing but. I'll get into that. So David Rock was the first person to bring in the neuro leadership factors. And from a neuro leadership perspective, we learned that the brain organized principles to minimize the stress. That's what was given earlier also. So he created the SCARF model. He says S stands for status, C stands for certainty, autonomy, relationship, and fairness. That's what these two leaders were also doing. And this SCARF model was given to them, and it helped both managers reflect on their own performance and inform their future action with a view to keeping the balance on the reward side of the equation. Everything ends up in reward. So earlier there was a barter system, then there was transactional behaviors, like you do this, I do that, right? Even in Saas Bahu also, you do this, I do that. We have, you cook in the morning and I cook in the evening, right? So that's how it works. So this was, the SCARF model was given by David Rock, and it helped teams. And how did it help teams? Engaging teams is easier when you understand that human beings were designed to connect with each other. Yes, we are all social animals and we all want that connect. But how do we do that is the process of neuro leadership. As social beings, we are driven to engage, and we create brain-friendly environments, and this involves a bit of neurobiology. That's where lies the crux of neuro leadership. And what are the technologies which we can use in neuro leadership is this fMRI, what we call it as the MRI, functional magnetic resonance imaging. What does it do is it measures the small changes in blood flows that occur with brain activity, and it may detect the abnormalities also. And an EEG is an enterocephalogram, is a test that detects electrical activity in your brain using small metal discs. And it is not just science. It is a proven factor that this EEG machines were stuck in all the places in the brain of students, and how did they behave was being recorded, and it proved that yes, we can have some findings as to why do they behave like that. So this is what is all about the technology. And so that's what is this question mark is for, just to think whether it is all possible. And do you all agree that brain is a complex system? It is a complex system, and we have to work accordingly. And this neuroscience is going to help us in bringing all this. So as human beings, we are able to do something than animals. And can you tell me what we can do other than animals?
Smile.
Smile, speak. We can self-reflect.
Yeah, we have consciousness they don't have.
Yeah, we do. We have the beta conscious, we say, but I would like to add on, you can hear the chirping noise. It's my beautiful birds with me. I bought it for my daughter, and a bird won't come near you, right? It will fly off. But love is a universal language, and it comes next to me. It sits wherever I am. So that is a different concept. But here, when you say that, what you can do apart from the animals is you can do a self-reflection. Can you do or not? So how my mom sees, how my dad sees me, how my girlfriend sees me, how my older brother looks at me, and how my ex-girlfriend sees me. All this runs in the mind of a young boy, and this can be done to analyze ourselves. So when I was going low, when I left my job, I didn't know as to how can I emerge into training in a corona pandemic time. So I was in a lot of groups, and I was working towards it. And what helped me was my self-introspection. I sat and worked on my SWOT analysis, SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. And I came out with my strengths, my opportunities, and strengths. And I analyzed myself, where I am going low and where I am high. I had points. So that is the self-reflection which you need to make to understand better. So to self-reflect, we can take a position outside of our mind and self-communicate to explore what's going on and what I am thinking. What is my intention in this meeting? What do I want to achieve? So all these concepts will be inculcated in a neuroscience leadership factor, and then you will be analyzed with that. And when you analyze, if a person is analyzed on the neural factors of his leadership styles, what happens is it turns, what is a beautiful word over here? It turns the soft skills of a professional development into the hard skills by getting the science behind it. Do you all agree that we have a science behind everything which we do? So that science, the soft skill can be turned. This was a lovely word which I found today. As to soft skills is turned into hard skills when you know what it is happening, then it becomes a hard skill. And emphasis of neuro leadership is on people, rather than management or any of the functions and emphasizes. So how we connect and interrelate with each other. So with a social message, I'd like to conclude my presentation. Our goal to actively recognize and appreciate our child's unique wiring and to commit to seeing the extraordinary gifts that make who they are meant to be in the world. So this I dedicate to all the parents. Like, don't coax, their children into, what they are already made will be done. So this is all about my presentation on neuro leadership. So thank you all. And any questions, I'm ready to take.
Wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
It was really informative about leadership qualities and the neuroscience combined together. I would like to ask you one question about the slide which you have mentioned about the two managers.
Yes.
I would love to know your perspective.
Yes. I'll just go on to the slide.
It can be a very good debate or interactive sessions among 20 participants who are over here.
Yes. So now some of them have joined. So I can just put it for them. Sure. So this is two different managers with the same task. Like, how did they get into it, right? So who are leading the teams through change within the same organization. So if I have to say, the first one was, he feared on his position. So that's why his neural factors would have played a major role. So how do we do when we are in a stressed situation? The cortisols play a major role, the stress hormones. And strikingly, we feel that, we say that we need to hear to the heart, but the brain actually works behind all this. So we usually say that I listened to my heart and I did it, but actually the brain controls. If the stress levels are more, the brain only controls. So probably the SCARF model would have helped him to analyze the present situation. And the second one was more, competitive, and he was able to manage the situation. So this is what is my inference. Is anybody
else would like to add?
Yeah, I wanted to say, actually, as per me, why the second was even better, that he has reduced all the risks. His decision making, his ability to take the team along, and that, he was taking okay of everyone while the team was going. Okay, we are on time. Are we all on time? He was questioning his team simultaneously. He was keeping the top management vision also in mind. He was telling them that what is the delivery, and they were all in sync. The least risk decisions were being taken, and that reduces the the uncertainty in anybody's mind, because the lowest person also thinks he is empowered. He's empowered, and he's in charge of the decision taking, this thing of the management as well. His participation is.
Yes, and lack of autonomy, but SCARF model gives autonomy to you. So now the debate ends up here as to whether the autonomy has to be given. We say in management that autonomy and the responsibility has to be added with that. It is not just, you give the power to them. Responsibility should also add. We have a very big quote in our MBA syllabus. So that's how. And one more thing is, he was in uncertainty situation and lack of autonomy was also there. And how he must have. And now, can you assure me that this neuroscience would have helped him if he had analyzed himself, or somebody else had analyzed himself? Instead of analyzing, we can't do that. Somebody else has to do this. And if yes, Kalpana ji.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Actually, this analysis, we have to do it for ourselves,
Okay.
The other person cannot do it. In my opinion, we have to reflect on, okay, yesterday I did this program, what went wrong? Next day I keep correcting it. Okay, today I did something, just analyze what went wrong and become a better person the next day.
Okay.
This is how we can keep doing it. And I don't believe in other person judging what you are or he is. Of course, we take all the suggestions, but when it comes to working on, it has to be the individual ultimately.
So, ma'am, your point more goes on self-reflection.
Self-reflection and analysis, all the same. But
analysis.
What steps you take to improvise yourself?
Improvise yourself.
But there we can get the guidance of our friends and well-wishers.
But here the analysis I told is the fMRI and that of the encephalogram, which is done by another person fixing all those, electric magnetic functions, and they will judge that as to what they are talking in the meeting, whether he is, sitting without interest, and what are the neurotransmissions which are taking place. So all that can be done. So these are all new entries into the field of leadership. Yes, YP.
Yes. So I think one of the things that you really brought about is the difference between how the two managers function. So I would like to hear some of your thoughts on some of the extrinsic factors that could impact on how these
leadership
two managers function the way they are functioning right now. So what is the impact of the extrinsic factors on neuro leadership? Because I think one of the biggest extrinsic factors that we are seeing today is, of course, COVID-19 and the uncertainty tag that goes along with it. So what are your thoughts, ma'am, on the impact of extrinsic factors on neuro leadership?
It's a fantastic question. What is lacking in this present situation, and also the factor which you cannot analyze is empathy, because you are not with the person. That is what now leaders are finding it, because they have to empathize themselves with their situation. They have to seek the team also, see the team's family also. So empathy is the biggest problem in the current situation, which has become an external factor, should be one of the factors among them, which has become an external factor. And research has recently been done. And what is the factor which makes the leaders fail in this present COVID situation, or when you are not in front of the people, face-to-face interaction, when there is no face-to-face interaction, then empathy is the factor which they are not able to handle.
Right. Thank you.
I would like to add one more point, rightly mentioned about empathy. Now, in the first instance, if the first feared for his position, now if we just remove this feared for his position and we cut down this, and we mentioned that the first experienced high level of stress.
Yes.
It will be completely different altogether. So the fear factor which is there in a leader, that brings down the moral of the complete teamwork. And the stress level, it's a part of the, activity. So that will not bring down the stress level, but it can help to gain empathy from the team players. And again, he can get back to work with his knowledge, experience, and learning. So if the fear factor is removed, the level of stress and lack of uncertainty can definitely help him to boost his own model in a short span of time with the help of the teammates. Looking at a different perspective.
Yes. But my eyes are not getting away from autonomy. Because that's a very big, assurance which you give to the leaders, right? So that was I was thinking about. Anybody else has got some other views on this case?
When we talk about autonomy comes, it's a bundle. Whether you like it or not, it's a bundle. A bundle of responsibilities, the time sense, and maintaining the team correlations. And it's like a pressure in the cabin, like the flight when there is a pressure in the cabin. When you say autonomy, the pressure is always there on the leader. And most of them, if they are really what you call balanced, they take it as a challenge, and that becomes a passion for some leaders. I have seen that passionate leaders, they have absolutely no stress. And I have also wondered how these people can, like, for instance, when I met Kiran Mazumdar, I think I met her 15 years back, when her industry was in full boom. I had to go and take an interview of her for a magazine. So I was really stunned how the way she was performing. And these are certain things where, oh, wow, how is she able to manage all these things? And before I could finish the interview, there were 10 people in her cabin. She had to say, excuse me, Kalpana, and she was answering them.
Answering that.
So these are, some leaders whom I have watched closely, and I myself said, wow, we have to be like this.
Vivi, you have some points? Your hands is raised. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't put my hands down. So that was the only point that I wanted to check with you. Thank you. Yeah.
So one thing I would like to add here is, like, being good leader also means having a lot of good vision, right? Far sight.
Yeah.
So the outcome of these two things would have been a way to guide them how to work forward. Like, if you work with fear, if you do not let your people grow, then if you do not get them ready to take up when you want to leave for a higher position or move ahead. So that kind of vision, if you show, then you will get rid of the fear, I guess, because change means growth.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's something I want to add.
There is one question which keeps coming to my mind. In the recent past, a lot of people have been talking about that leaders are not born, but they can be created. Okay, this is one theory. This is one theory. Now, example of one of the leaders around us prominently is Narendra Modi.
Yes.
So he has not been, going into any management school. He has not done any formal training like that. He has not, his neurons did not go under any such neuro leadership course or a training or a conditioning. And he has by default emerged to be this thing. Now, is he a born leader and not created one? And whereas the other statement is totally against this thought that leaders are not born, they are created.
No, his experience has made him a leader.
Yes.
His childhood experiences, which has already been in his brain for years and years, and all it has been connected for being a politician. Way when he was in 5 years or whatever they say, as he was selling. He knows the technique of selling.
That is so true. I mean, it just depends on where you get your experience, whether inside the classroom of a B school or on the street.
Yes. And I would like to add a point. This neuroscience is only to check and improve. If you take this, you won't be better. It doesn't assure that. Yes, Kalpanaji.
I just want to say something here. When Shobhitji said about Narendra Modi, he didn't go to any B school or whatever. But I strongly want to say that he was in Swami Dayanand Saraswati's ashram for 3 years, which is much more than a B school and much more than any other international school or much more than Harvard University, with due respect to Shobhitji.
No. Thanks for adding this thing. Thanks for adding to my knowledge. But there are others also, like Yogi is there. Yogi is a very, very good example of a typical leader of very high caliber and high integrity. Okay, there are issues of integrity also, which are very, very wonderfully high, which I one of those qualities, values which I want to keep above many others, is that integrity factors and all. So there are certain things which were with them, somewhere. I don't know how they were conditioned, but yes, even Yogi's mind also gets trained into some good things, probably because of the things which they have gone through in the earlier this thing of their being conditioning. Thank you.
But taken as an example of whatever examples you took as a leader, that actually shows that why you took it, because they were visionary, because they were inspiring. That's how we took it. So to improve that, only this neuro leadership will help in. So to analyze why he had behaved in such a manner. So for that's where lies neuro leadership. So why do they behave in a team in such a manner? As a leader, what he is, and as in a team, how he is. So that is what the study is all about.
Yes, Dr. Usha, when you are going to do an experiment with all your gadgets, I will come as a guinea pig.
Sure. It would actually be interesting to know about us as, oh, I have behaved in such a manner. Okay. For some time, I was not interested in this meeting. Okay. I get to know this. Something like that. We might be able to know.
Again, there are a lot of stories behind there. In the womb of a mother, there are a lot of training which is being provided. And there we can say that it's a born leader because the training has been imparted 9 months in the womb of the mother. And there are several stories. There are stories of IAS officers who are trained to be IAS officers. There are stories of freedom fighters who are being trained to fight for the nation.
I mean, I mean, just to add to that particular point that you just said, sir, I think leadership traits are in every one of us. It is just a matter of us going and discovering it. I mean, to give you one example, the leader of my house is my 3-year-old son. He's the CEO of the house, and we are like way below the hierarchy. Me and my wife are way below the hierarchy.
And believe me, when you get your grandchild, then your grandchild will become the leader of the house.
Yes. So that is so true. I mean, so that is why, I mean, when I look at my son, that's one learning that I get from him is that leadership is something that we are born with. How we realize it, how we inculcate it, and how we express it, and how we relate to others, like that point on empathy. I think that's what makes the leader to be awakened within everyone.
And I just want to, because this is a forum of all neuro and brain specialists, I just wanted to quote one small incident that happened at home. My elder granddaughter, who is 6 years old, she says, "Mummy, we wanted a baby. So we prayed to God and God gave us another baby. And now she is 2 years old and she just snatches whatever her elder sister has." And now she says, "Now what do we do when we don't want this baby? What is the choice we have?" And she says, "Can we put it in the adoption store?" I asked her, "Where did you get all these silly ideas?" She said, "In the Barbie and Elsa, they keep watching all the movies where they have an adoption store where they put all the pets in adoption." You know, I mean, it is something very intriguing, but is it a good sign of, how do they get these strange ideas? For a moment, everything gets blocked. How do I react to this? I cannot be harsh to her. At the same time, we cannot keep quiet. We have to say something. At times it really, it's mind-blogging, I would say, or mind-blocking.
I think one of the things is, at least when it comes to kids, they don't have any filters, right?
Yes.
So whatever comes to their mind just comes out of their mouth. There are no filters, there are no checkpoints, nothing happens over there. So I think when it comes to kids, at least the way I have at least seen, at least with my niece and again with my son, is when they say something that is out of turn, I would personally find out why they are saying that and just have a word with them to tell them how it is not right to go about saying that. And I think if we take them along and explain it to them very patiently, I think they are very receptive to it. I mean, if we react to it in a way that we are shocked and we immediately express our anger, they seem to be motivated to do it again.
Yeah, all these things we tell them during only the night story time. Only then it gets into their head.
Ma'am, I should add my personal experience.
Yeah.
My elder daughter is little pampered because after 9 years of gap, I conceived my second child. So what was running in my mind is, how will I manage when my husband is off to the sea, when he's sailing? So what I planned was, I planned myself mentally and I started educating my daughter, younger one. She is actually well-disciplined, much oriented in whatever she does than the elder one. So the elder one, and now I give example of the younger one to the elder one. See how she is able to do like that. So if you educate them from a right younger age, and she won't see the tab after 20 minutes. She'll say, "Mama, time ho gaya. Shall I keep the tab off? And now can I leave the rabbits in their thing?" And now can I wash my hands? Because only one time if you say her, she'll grasp it. We need to wash hands every time. Mama, I have just kept here. Can I touch here? Like that. So educating them in the way they can understand. Probably you can also manage your kids at home.
Yes, I think a lot of these kind of programs have to be given to the young
I just want to add something here. Hi, this is Neha. From yesterday's workshop of Sir's workshop, Shobit Sir's workshop, he very well quoted, a child doesn't know, he only know how to be happy. Right?
Yes.
It is how we train. As you said that she's watching Barbie and all these shows, this is actually hovering her mind because parents are not having time to educate. As rightly Usha ma'am said, since I am also into, child counseling and all, we make a small kid owner of the house. Like you said, they are owner of the house, your grandchildren will be. Why we are making, they are not going to remain small, right? They will grow up, then these things will be irksome for you. First, it looks cute right now.
Yes.
But we are not setting it right that you are, you just need to tell them that you need to be independent. You need to do your own stuff. We provide everything to them and we make them like king. And then when they are not able to achieve anything, you go back to history, right? All the leaders, all the very best successful people are the ones who has risen from the misery. Someone who has got everything on the platter and someone who has who says that the person is born king. There is no one who is born king. Yes. There is nothing like that. There is no philosophy, I would say. Yes, it is correct when a pregnant mother will say but it is for some time. There is example like in Gita Abhimanyu example, we can say that her mother was listening to that. But if your kids are right now behaving this, I feel there is some environment which needs to be changed around, right? And there is something called neuroplasticity of brain. I would like to add, because with which we can change the brain wiring within certain time, depending on the person's psychology and person's current situations. It has no stipulated time. However, it's like a plastic. We can actually mold it. So it's I have actually done a counseling of many students from aging from 5 to 8 or 10, and they are very calm. Their parents are not that much intellectual now. They feel we are not that much intellectual. Like they say, I am not giving my remote control to you. I'm not doing this. So they just feel stunned. So it's, you just cannot blame child. I would really like to, but I really loved this example the sir gave. Child only knows how to be happy. And you said that they are very blunt. That is absolutely true. It's BK Shivani says that we have been taught to tell lies.
Yes.
Because people are not happy with truths.
I think that is where the next style of leadership, which is benevolent leadership, comes in.
Benevolent,
yes. When you bring up your kids especially, and I think it doesn't apply just to kids. If you really look at it from a practical standpoint, we may treat kids, we may say 100 things about like we should treat kids this way, we should treat kids that way. But if you really look at it, if you extrapolate it, even to at the level of an organization, people really respond to that, because if you are benevolent and if you lay down your rules very politely yet firmly, and if you are able to carry them along with you, give them that sense of ownership. When I said my son is the CEO of the house, yes, he is figuratively the CEO of the house, but when you give them that level of freedom and that opportunity to really learn and take them along with you in that journey, I think that really makes a lot of difference. And that's what I'm saying. What applies to them also applies for adults in an organization.
Yes. And what happened in my house was the little one used to spend a lot. She was not spending. I was getting things for her, right? Till she was 4. Because she doesn't know as to what to buy and what not to buy. She'll ask everything. Nail polish to toy, she'll be asked. But after 5 years, we started talking to her and explaining it to her. Now you start saving money, because she knows that, I'm paying money. Yes. How much did you pay? She'll ask, how much? Oh, 500, 5,000. Okay. So now she has a piggy bank, and now she has started putting money into that. And now she says, I won't give him my money. I won't give my money to any of the
that is so true. I mean, when I took my niece about a couple of years back to a shop and I bought her a toy, she asked me, is this expensive?
Yes.
I mean, I was stunned to hear that from a 6-year-old. She asked
they know. Yes. Now kids know the value of money.
Yeah, that is why the KVB has a jumbo piggy bank like with an elephant symbol, the Jumbo Karur Vaishya Bank. So they have got all their bank accounts open. Now they know the value of money. They don't want to spend their money now. And if I say we don't have money for this or that, she'll say, okay, come, you go and pick it up from the ATM. So it's lovely to be, and then even that I have to think about a nighttime story for this also.
The last 10 minutes or 15 minutes of our conversation, so much of it actually applies even to us.
True.
Really, because we talk about kids and we talk about it with such a smile, but if you really extrapolate it, if someone does that to us, we would like it ourselves, won't we?
Yes.
But sir, we need to think that how much power we should be giving to them, because they are not at that age, and this would not look good when they are 15, 16. They may trouble you for everything, right?
Yes.
So we have to raise them in that manner that we should be comfortable at every age.
That is where benevolent leadership comes in.
Yeah.
Today also we need to understand the shift in the paradigm thought process of the Z generation. Our father was into industrial revolution. We were into information age, and today they're into social age. So looking at the needs and wants are completely changed. They don't have to struggle for roti, kapda and makan. They don't have to struggle for the standard of living. They have to struggle for the value addition which they have, because the comparison and with the way they deal with other friends. So their thought process is completely changed. And with this thought process, we need to get aligned. So the alignment is, I think, it's a big task which we all need to look forward. And in this alignment, combining those two thought processes between two generations is a big, Hercules task for us, because the industrial output or inputs which we have got from our elder generation and the easy workout which we are working with our children, that is again a complete 360 degrees. So adding value to what, as you rightly mentioned, that now they have started understanding the value of money.
Yes.
And that is very, very important for them, because that will take them to how to carry on with the Z generation and put forward and continue and pass it on to the next generation. That is very, very important.
True.
Very true. Very true.
So great. I think anybody else would like to have their inputs, like to share some.
I just loved this. Yeah.
Hi, Usha. I'm Roma here. And I'm sorry, I am not able to, I would not like to put my video on. So I will be listening to this wonderful conversation. I have only 2 inputs because I joined in between, so I won't say much. One thing you said, they understand the value of money. Children, I think they understand the power of money. They understand that money is powerful to buy. So that is, they will like to buy this, that, and they want their parents' money. They don't understand the value of money. They don't understand they have to save. They have to save for future, for medical reasons, So yes. I think there is a difference, and it is a little, I think we should educate our children to understand the value of money, that you have to save it. It is a resource. You will not always have this like this, If at the age of 4, you want a Barbie of 2,000 rupees, then when you will be 15, 16, you will be looking for a bike of 1 lakh rupees. So, they have to understand the value of value. They have to understand the value. They know the power with this online shopping and all.
Yes. That's a great point on the difference between value and power.
Value and power.
Very good point, Romaji. Very good. Wonderful.
That is one thing, yeah. So, and parents should talk politely and remain parents, and they have to be just, there are so much of pressure on that. Let the child be himself, let the child be like that, not to put pressure. That is not very correct. Mentoring is very important, there was a discussion on leaders being born or leaders being
yes,
created. So you remember Shivaji, etc. All these leaders, they were mentored. They were mentored by their mothers. And even, this Narendra Modi or, other leaders, they always had some political mentor who shaped their, under whose internship, you can say, it's like internship. So yes, I mean, as far as the discussion between being born and created is there, so I think there's no absolute statement. Some of them are definitely born, and when we need more leaders, we have to create them. So that is then we study what qualities these born leaders had, and how we can inculcate those and in others also, because there is a possibility. So there's no absolute statement whether they are created or born. Some of them are definitely born. So that's all from my end. It was really such a learning experience, and I really feel bad that I joined late. So
we'll send you the recording. No problem. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good points, Romaji. Fantastic. Thanks for the addition. Anybody else would like to add?
I just have a question, and anybody can answer, Dr. Usha or Sushantji. When it comes to the creative minds, people who are more creative and creativity, some people say artists are really crazy people. And some people say, the moment all the art gets into you, rest of the things get out of your mind. And what is your comment on that? And what is your study on that?
May I answer, sir?
Please go ahead.
If your permission.
Please go ahead. Please.
Okay. Actually, ma'am, we are all created by a divine creator, as it is, right? Everything in this universe is a creation of something or another. So we are born creators. However, as per Jim Quick, there is a trained memory, something called trained memory. If you keep on calling names to your child, if you keep on bullying that child, till the time child reached till 18 years of age, he has been bullied for more than study says an average human, more than 3 to 6 days constantly. So if I keep on constantly telling you, you are this, you are that, you are blah, blah, you are stupid, you are foolish, you are, for what will happen to your neuroplasticity? As we say that neuroplasticity can be enhanced, right? We have seen many battles have been won by changing the neuroplasticity, right? Someone said that you will definitely win. So people win. Why? Because it's just the thought. So it's just, if you will keep on telling that you are creator, I'll just give you one example from Think and Grow Rich. His father, Napoleon Hill, right? His son was born without ears, and he just started hearing because he just kept on sending the vibration and thought and to the creator. He said that creator or nature has made the mistake, and nature has the power to create to correct it. So ma'am, you are creative. Don't you create certain recipes in kitchen, or even sir, if you go to kitchen, Sushant sir or Sushobit sir, if you go, you will definitely try something new. You may not be only dependent on YouTube, right? We are all, 2 leaves are never same. 2 mango shapes are never same. So that is the diversity of nature. So we are humans, the most supreme creation. So we are all born creators, and we are all born creative. It's just, we just need to tell people that you are creator. That is the programming which we need to do. If you today you will start telling me, Neha, you talk too much, I may think that I talk too much, and I will be quiet for maybe, I don't know for how long. That's the programming, which is, or if you say, Neha, you're very quiet, maybe I'll think I'm very quiet. I may start speaking something nonsense, vice versa, just to prove that you are wrong or something. Like if you will say the child that you are very creative in a very loving manner, he may think I'm creative. However, it should not be sarcastic, right? So you can actually train, because we are naturally creator. Naturally, we are creators and we are creative. I hope it's clarify, and it is going with the nature.
Thank you, Neha.
Thank you, Neha.
Okay. I would like to add, it recalls me of the story of two groups of 100, this thing. One of the group leader is a lion and 99 of them are cats. And the other group, the leader is a cat and there are 99 lions. So which do you feel that is the strongest group? The 99 lions or the 99 cats?
The 99 cats.
Because the leader is the lion. Wonderful. So it's a complete mindset of how we transform. And here again, it's completely in alignment with neuro leadership, today's topic. So how the neurons are geared up? Because I normally ask questions. Lion does not have a huge neck. He doesn't run fast. He is, so even though he doesn't have such qualities, how come he is a leader?
He has courage.
He has courage. He has courage to face, and he puts up that courage. He faces the challenges. Yeah, Romaji, you wanted to say something.
And also, he has that attitude, that belief. Belief is most important. He has
word belief. Wonderful.
The attitude, as you said.
Attitude, yeah.
Neither he is strong as a lion, as an elephant. So in spite of not having any qualities, the attitude and the belief, that are two important qualities. And because of that, he is the king of the jungle.
And it's a saying, nature has designed him the way that if he will not be that lazy, there would be no animals in the jungle. So that is the beauty of nature and creativity. That's how they created him very lazy. So
that's the ecosystem. Yeah.
Yeah, because he is very, very courageous. That's why we compare anyone who is courageous, we compare it to the lion. Like Sikh community, they have put Singh in their surname, right? Guruji has given, because they say you are courageous beings. So it's only the quality is courageous, I would say, rather say that is the sign. That is the reason lion is lazy. If courageous person is hyperactive, you just see they will destroy the world only.
Good point, Neha. Good point.
Good point, yeah.
Okay, so with this, we come to the end of the session. Any final remarks anybody wants to add? Usha ji?
Yes, that's what the latest 2006, if the research has started for neuroscience. I request all the organizations to take up this neuro leadership far ahead to understand why people behave in such a manner, which will explore more on what is the behavior exactly is, because this total thing was on the organizational context. So
I think there's some network issues.
Some connectivity issue.
Yes.
She has lost connectivity.
Yeah. Okay, in the meantime, I would just like to announce that tomorrow we have a memory session and day after we have a discovery section. So we would love all of you to join us either on Zoom or on YouTube. And we will also air this on our radio channel thrice in a day. So if you have missed a beautiful conversation, you can definitely take this opportunity to listen to the YouTube or the radio channel. We'll share the links with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sushant. It has been a wonderful program. I was really missing it yesterday because I had another class to attend. And I caught up with your radio channel this afternoon.
Okay.
It was a wonderful session by Shobhit ji. And congratulations and hats off to you for bringing in this program. A very, what I would say, a timely intervention this program is.
Thank you very much.
Moving forward post-pandemic, when countries have started celebrating endemic, and we don't know whether we have ended or not, but Singapore and UK have started celebrating endemic. While many people are still sick in their own countries, they still celebrate the endemic. I think the attitude also has to play a role.
Yes, yes.
So creating the positive environment and calling it endemic, and the schools have all reopened. And Tamil Nadu, the schools are reopening on the 1st of February. What's the kya haal hai Mumbai mein?
So Mumbai is okay, good.
No, the schools, when are they reopening the schools?
Yeah, they will be also opening from the 1st of February.
1st of February. We don't know whether it's right or wrong, but we just have to keep our fingers crossed and wait to see what's happening.
Let's end this session over here. Had a wonderful time. Thanks for all of you to join.
Thank you.
And tomorrow we have Krishna Sawant, who will be talking about the memory. And day after we have Neha Singh, who will be talking about the discovery. So discovering yourself. So request all of you to attend these sessions and take a lot of learning and give us your inputs so that we can also